Greetings and welcome. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube live at The Real Bloom from Within Love. I go by Blooming. And I'm back. And as I promised you guys, I was going to share more about my father. I told you guys that as I'm guided, I will be sharing bits and pieces. Okay, so I'm going down the roster. My father is no exception. Um, so it's pretty much just kind of based on whatever is happening, whatever my guys are saying. Okay, say this, say that, say this, say that. I will be coming back though to put more information about the previous video as well. So I'm not done with that because those individuals are still up to, they're actually still doing spell work as I speak. So, and when I say those individuals, I'm talking about my family, my sister, and whoever her collaborates are, my mother, whoever their collaborates are with spell work. So they're practitioners, they're friends, whomever. And so since they're still at it, then I will be releasing some more information a little bit later to expose more and more things. I'm going to go down the line. I'll also be calling out names of her associates, and anything that the guys, have me to come and share because when you're in this kind of energy, my spirit guides are on top of it, of course. But sometimes you have to, these individuals and these energies that have gotten used to just bullying people with their spell work, okay, getting people either tired, distracted, or to give up, things like that. It's not going to happen. And so I kind of, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. So, that's not going to happen. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Is that better? Okay. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. There will be no stopping. Okay. It's going to be, they're going to ensure that justice prevails. And as long as people keep trying to retaliate, they keep doing spell work, they keep trying to strategize, the more severity to everybody that is involved. And that's from this, realm of the spiritual world. That's via source, my ancestors and guides, gods, goddesses, archangels, ascended masters. And so, yeah, that's the way it's going to go. That's the way the cookie crumbles until this thing ends. So like I said, some of them will die, okay, or things close to them or people close to them because of their refusal to stop contacting practitioners refusal to stop. So it's gonna, you guys are probably seeing some things as I speak. It's happening fast, I'm told. So I just was guided to switch gears a little bit and then come back later on, but to talk about my father, my karmic father. You guys don't hear me say much about him, okay? And it's a reason for that, right? There's a reason. First and foremost, he met my mom at a very, very early age. And so I want to say my mom was like 13, 14, and he was like almost 30 some odd years older than my mother. Okay. So now can you guys just see where the sexual energy toxicity came in? Okay, right there. Okay. At that time, he was a pimp and living a very nightlife kind of lifestyle. Okay. He was actually the friend of my grandmother, my maternal grandmother that passed away. So it was not, if this stuff were to happen today, we would be calling cops and doing all sorts of things if some 30 something year old man was messing around with our 13-year-old or 14-year-old daughter. Okay. at least most of us that are relatively healthy and balanced, we would be like, that's not, no, okay? So that's the template of how my older sister even came to be between those two, okay? And he was a typical narcissist, but he was more of the flamboyant, um, very passive aggressive type of narcissist. He wasn't all of that. He could get violent, but most of it was covert. Okay. He was not in my life that much, but when he was in my life, there was or in the early years, I should say. In the early years, it was about almost training us or training me in the mind of like a prostitute, but not to be a prostitute, but kind of like a prostitute in a sense that, everything was focused on the externals and, that perfectionist energy. Okay. And he was absentee and very aloof. And to this day, if he's still living, to this day, aloof, detached. Because guess what? This entire time, prior to me changing all of my numbers, you guys, I never got any phone calls from my father. Okay. My sister put spells on everybody, and she's like the narc golden child, you know, kind of energy. And I've already shared stories in the past about how when he came out here and certain things. And so now I understand that she was doing energy work and projecting thoughts into people's minds. Okay. She was projecting thoughts and causing them to say certain things. Okay. She did that and does that with my son. And so I eventually kind of picked up that, that's something that she's doing. That's her black magic trick or whatever. And that's how she go around make people do what she wants them to do. Mind control, projecting thoughts into their minds. Okay. And when people don't believe in that stuff and they're not aware of it, then they take it as their own thought. Okay. So, anywho, so I just let me just stay focused. Help me to you. Let me stay focused. Okay. So essentially, it's not much to tell. My father was a disappointment, very early on. He really wasn't involved much. I mean, I had my heart broken by him a few times. I think I've shared stories about that. And essentially, that just reinforced this very low vibrational narcissistic template of, you have to chase love. You have to earn love. You have to pant for love. You have to wait for love. Being ignored is normal. Being for a man being empty or detached is normal. So it kind of just reinforced all of that belief system and that energy, which explains why, of course, in life, I continued on to co-create those types of relationships. Okay. My karmic father, throughout all this time when I had relocated to, I need to move some stuff out of the way because I got to get you guys a card. When I had relocated from California to Nevada, all that time, my father, there was very brief interactions when I called him early on and about the phone and all that, but he just really wasn't involved. And then when all this stuff kind of happened, under the mind control of my sister and being a narc himself, a very passive aggressive narc himself, he would say one thing to me and one thing to her. Okay. And he never really reaches out. So I actually had a problem with that. It wasn't just with my mother and my sisters and so forth. When I started cutting people out, I was going across the board. I was trying to hit all fours, man. I was going across the board because I was like, look, as I started ascending and healing, I started realizing like, no, that's off. This is not okay. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be balance and connections. And the culture teaches us to blindly submit to things and people that are, they have a title or position, but they don't deserve it. The title mother and father, just in the words, does not mean you are a true mother and father. It means that you know what I'm saying? All you really did is you had sex and you pushed, something came out and, some of you provided a certain level of basic care. But to have the honor of a real mother and father is a responsibility. It's not just because you old and you had, and I got rid of that belief system. I was like, I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care what they have to say about it. Because if you disrespect your own child, you shouldn't be respected. If you violated your own child, why the hell should you be? Okay. Worse yet, if you act like you didn't. So you don't deserve just respect because you had sex and something came out of your loins. Okay. That goes with the mother and the father. So I cut my father off as well because I was like, this is going to stop here. My chasing man stops with my father. That's what I said. I was like, my pining for men or my seeking the Father and seeking the validations and all the things like that from detached, unavailable energy is over because he should be equally concerned about me. See, what happens is the elderly in the African American culture has this distorted, view, as well as other cultures. It's not just African American distorted view about how we supposed to just care for the elderly when they get older, but they didn't care for you when you were younger and they don't care for you now. So why should you care for them? If they're plotting your demise, if they're making you sad, if they're trying to come against your happiness, if all these things, why should there be honor? So I was like, he's cut too. Because I don't need a go between. My sister was always trying to control everything, and I figured that out when I was there. I'm like, we're not children, and I don't need a go between, right? So I started just feeling things out like something was wrong with these dynamics here. I didn't need anybody to help me talk. I didn't need, what I'm saying, any of that, people that just need to feed off group energy. And I'm not with it. And if I'm not honored and respected properly, no matter what the title is, you're cut. I'm not going to pour any type of energy and time and attention into something or someone. Okay. And I learned that as well with my father. At some point, I was going to reach out to him, to voice my truths. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is my take on it. If you feel guided, yeah. And then, of course, publicly, if you feel like you need to do something for your safety because, there's too many family dark secrets and secret societies and motherfuckers are trying to kill you, you know what I'm saying, and get rid of you and shit. So do what you have to do. But in terms of reaching out to family that first and foremost, they didn't care about your well-being. They would have cared. Like my father never reached out that entire time. When I was going through all that, I had reached out to him about what my sister had did, back when she had kicked me and my son out. Then he said one thing to me, turned around, said something else to her, then said something else to me later, just totally turned on me. So I remember going off and I was like, that's it. Okay, we're not playing that game. We're not playing that game. So I advise you guys to, and please take this part with a caution. I need to say that. Hold on. I'm talking about the stuff like, you're healing your childhood and you're dealing with your parents and, siblings and stuff like that. If especially if it was a narcissistic dynamic and they're trying to put your organs on the market for the black market and shit, it's like, or even if they're not doing that, the simple fact for me, the simple fact of my father, prior to my numbers changing, because my number has changed, but the simple fact that that time span when he did still have it, he didn't reach out. I was like, yeah, I ain't afraid. I was like, you can too. Because this is the stuff I came here to deal with and heal and break, and to no longer close my eyes to and turn a blind eye and to just skip around and act like and see. And that's what most people can't do. They'd rather stay in the narcissistic template, come together and smile and nod and act like everybody is not dysfunctional as fuck, act like there's not something really dark and dank and insidious happening, any weird energy, thinking that that's going to make it go away. So you guys will hear me every so often come on, okay? And I'm still at it. I take breaks, and then when I'm guided, I'm back, okay? But pertaining to my particular situation, if this is any if any law enforcement comes on, any FBI law, those that are surveillancing my social medias, just a little FYI, they haven't stopped. Okay, they're doing major spell work because they're in total fear. Okay, so um, they haven't stopped doing their stuff. They haven't stopped planning and strategizing and things like that. Okay, they're still at it. They're still trying to hunt people down. So higher realms are still at it. They will be got. But I just wanted to say that just in case any investigators happen to come on, those that are surveillancing my different platforms. Okay. Now, back to it. The Father. I'm going to get a card. Okay. It's not a real official reading, but I wanted to do something different. About my Father. About my karmic, because he karmic too. Let's just make that clear and understood. About my karmic father. My karmic father. Okay. I'm going to be going back and forth all through the lines, the bloodlines. I'm going all the way down. Everybody's getting their opportunities. We're going to ensure that, I promise you. Okay. So, Light Team, on behalf of me and of course the High Vibe Collective, pertaining to healing the wounds of the Father. We're healing the wounds of the Father, the masculine, whether the masculine energy landed in the bodies of women, but we're still dealing with the masculine, the abuse and the toxicity of the masculine, the narcissism, the avoidant personality type, the negligence, the abandonment, all of that. What was the issue here? Okay, I've shared a couple little stories because, quite frankly, ain't much to tell. And when they do come, I'll share the extra ones. Oh, shit. Okay. Been preparing for this all day. I don't need to say nothing else, huh, team? Thank you, Rock. You are not your situation. You are not your situation. Belonging. Look at the fucking, you're not your situation. Be kind-hearted. Okay. See, at the bottom of the deck, so he was cold. See, this is the point that I was trying to tell you guys. My father. Okay. Cold as ice. I understand that, like anything else in life, it's traced to his abuse, right? It's traced to what happened to him. It's always traced, but someone eventually comes in who has balls and courage to actually start healing. But what happens is this just keeps repeating, and everybody just sits quietly, and everybody numbs out, and everybody goes into a program and just kind of and still doing the same shit, and then and it just keeps going. And it's usually the scapegoat that starts. These earth angels are the ones that get it most because the others are numbed the fuck out too. Okay, so he was heartless and lacked boundaries. There it is. Damn. Shit. Alert, alert, alert. Okay, yeah. He was heartless and lacked the boundaries. So he violated my boundaries. I'm gonna tell they don't know yet, but that's also coming because the more they amp their shit, there's a few more secrets that I know for certain they're not gonna want to be heard. But if they don't leave me alone, I'm gonna go amp on that. Okay. My guys aren't playing. It's like, okay, you got, let's have some more fun then. That they're still there. Let's have some more fun. So he violated my boundaries, as did my mother, as did my grandmother. Okay. We'll get in deeper on that on another video. Okay. But heartless, did not have any respect, cold. Okay. Judgmental. Okay. You are not your situation. See, he was a 3D based man. That's a typical narc. Because for a typical narc, everything is about the situation. They equate their greatness, their success, their happiness, their importance based on their status, based on their accomplishments, based on everything outside. Soul is raggedy as fuck, though. Stamped with Jesus in the Bible. Because how could you be full of love and, whatever verbiage you want to be using, and be cold? Ain't no God there except for the God of the devil, in which is they really do worship. I'll deal with that on a whole nother video. Okay? Because when you're talking about, source, love, and light energy, it's not a routine and a program and a list. Okay? This is what these people, my people, in most in African American cultures, as well others, because it's about all organized religious base, but the trauma and the abuse and how that is used, and people getting their pretension and their high off of, I go to this church and I do this and I do this ritual, and I am the deacon of all deacons, and I am the leader of, and I am empty, void, evil, cold, detached. That's who he is. That's who he was. But to the public, see, the covert narcissist, people will catch up with me one day. The covert narcissist is a performer. He was a flamboyant narc. And he is that, if he's still living, he is that in the realm of his existence now. He may not be on the streets anymore, but honey, that don't take away the narc. The narc is there. If you could actually sit and not care and be cold, you might as well hang up all your sayings and your routines and prayers and everything else you're doing. Okay? And this is what myself, my grandmother, she couldn't do it, so she uniquely did some other shit. But that star seeds, earth angels came to shake up the shit so folks can really wake up and heal. Okay? And evolve and expand past these illusions and this fear and this control-based shit that wants to limit you. Yeah, his ass. Let's see. My team. This ought to be good. I just wanted to do something just a little different. Don't worry, guys. Whoever comes on here later. It's not a full reading. I just wanted to shake it up, and then as soon as I'm guided to come back and give more info on the goods, on the situation I spoke of earlier, I may use the TikTok, or I may use YouTube, but I will be back. And bet your bottom dollar. Okay. Why was my dad like that? Why was he heartless? We're talking about my karmic father. This is going to relate and resonate with the collectives of divine feminines that I truly channel for, that feel like they were carnated into karmic families. Their karmic father. Why was the karmic father shallow, 3D based, and heartless? Let's get some situations here. Damn. Light team, I thank you in advance. Y'all already know. They're just gonna leave it like that. They're like, just roll with it. Yeah. Why? Why is he like that? On the table, offer, proposal, commitment. See, hold up. Why was he like that? Heartless and surface and base everything on the 3D, offer on the table. So, okay, offer on the table. Family. Here are the roots. Here it is. He was always looking for somewhere to belong. He didn't have that himself. And so since he had his own family wounds, which is what I'm talking about, okay, he got driven to always look for the next best offer. That's why he became like that, because he had a fucked up ass family. He got it from his family. I'm asking why. I said, why is the karmic father like that? Blood ties and inner circle. Family. Fucked up bloodline. And guess what? Old Blooming Bloom is here to fuck some shit up with that. God damn it. Yeah. Okay. So he was basically, look, and I told you guys a story about my dad being a pimp. Okay. And he was. Because he old. You know what I'm saying? If he's still living, he old. All right. So it was all about the, why else do you pimp? Other than the sadistic, twisted shit up there in the upstairs regions. But yeah, offer. So everything, he was cold because it's all about, and people that's ran like that, they lack kindness. They only have fake kindness that they can get a supply from, some kind of an honor and grandiose or something. Other than that, they're not really all that interested. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's poison. What? 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 Poison. He's poison as fuck. Toxic, unhealthy behaviors and people. This is the root of my blood on my father's side. Get it? Get it? Yeah. The irony is that in some of the blood, even though there's like this appearance of, it's, only the awakened or those that are starting to awaken is going to understand that, it's like all this church, right? But in some of what even some of them are doing, it's like secret societies and fucking dark witches and warlocks and sacrificing their children. Why? For this. Did not just ask why would they do that? And why? Toxic. And it's all about what? The status, the appearance, money, shit. But just with some church, stamped on it so people can appear wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. So this is my look, y'all. This is my karmic father. Cause see, I'm targeting him as well. He ain't excluded in the shits with the go down with the ancestors. His motherfuckers are too. All them is included. Ain't nobody excluded in the game. Cause whoever done did fuck shit on me and my son and my life is paying for it. That is the judgment. Nobody's getting away. They can go to church until the end of this earth as we know it. Okay, so yeah, he tried, if I fast forward here, denial, not facing truth, I can only imagine I know he fencing a really, see, he not, okay, I'm not going to go there because that's some more, because so he next, thank you, like team. So when I get off camera, help me to know we fencing to go there with him. He next on my list on some going in and anybody around him. Okay, so he lived in the land of denial. But see, that's the cowardly narc, right? Illusion. Hide behind religion and routines and close a blind eye and, just focus on the surface. So, you focus on the surface like, oh, somebody's got something. You don't know how they got it. All you're looking at is the surface. You ain't there. You don't know what's inside the apple. So that's what happened. That's how he is, but it's because that's where he came from, and nobody healed. All everybody did was went to church because that's what folks did in the olden days. Okay, that's the get down. That's all the black folks. That's it. Okay, um, fuck how they treat the motherfucker family, but we going to church every Sunday and cooking and coming together and You know, yeah. See, he himself came from a lifestyle of just one hoe after the next. Okay, that was his life, and that's why he was heartless. That kind of life had a grip on his ass. Okay, but it's in denial that, you know, yep, tragedy, forbidden love. Yeah, because he repeated. Oh my God! Now I'm seeing some parallels here. Jesus Christ, man. See, it's the same shit. But guess what? Nobody talk about it because everybody just go to church and still toxic as fuck though. Still insensitive and empty and dark and fucking. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? It's like what's the point? So you can be praised or what? Like what? Look, like I said, emotionless, nothing, dead as fuck, dead man walking with a Bible. Yeah, ghosted. All he know how to do. This is all he knows how to do. He lived his life like this. Ghosted, blocked, cut off. Okay. Um, who that? Somebody said I actually see kind words in here. I'm used to the karmics coming here. I'm sorry, so that kind of threw me off a bit because the karmics is coming, but my guides are having me do stuff on purpose because they are. So it's like, if you build it, they will come. Because they think they be haunting somebody, but the guides is haunting their ass. If you build it, they will come. Because they come, I'm telling you, as soon as it be 2 minutes or so, ding, here they come, the karmics. Divine feminine. Not a personal reading. This is actually not even a reading. I just wanted to do something different because I wanted to talk about my karmic father, and because I haven't did that much, and I feel like my guys are like, we're gonna balance it all out because you gonna it's a roster. They got them a whole list, and we going down the lists and shit of all karmic motherfuckers in my life. Okay, all my karmic family members, all across the board. Nobody's getting left out. And the more these people fuck with me and my son and what's mine, the more my guys are gonna have me wait, pull back. They'll have me go meditate, pendulum, do something. Okay, go back, tell them this. So yeah, look at that twin flames. Oh shit. See, my dad probably no, his ass. Mm-mm. So the point that I was making, guys, I only brought out the cards, okay, just to do something different in terms of talking about my personal situation with my karmic family, and we're asking about why was he the way he was, the way I explained it, and it's getting to the roots of his family, and it's basically reiterating everything that I have ever said about him and about my family. So you are what you eat, you are what your roots are, you are what you come from until you willfully, by act of will, surrender in your choice, decide, unlike the rest, I want to heal. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much pain it is. I don't care how ostracized. I don't care. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care who don't understand. I don't care if the gospel. I don't give a fuck. Why? Because they weren't serving me anyway. I'm gonna heal. This must stop because going to church and doing all these things, that ain't healing. That's all the people have ever done. And if you pay close attention, I started paying close attention a long time ago. That's why I'm not impressed. I'm not easily impressed when I see people, whether it's talking Bible or church or whatever it is that they're doing in their groups. And it's like, I'm looking at faces, I'm gauging energy, I'm looking at attitudes, I'm gauging energy. I'm looking at how they treat their offspring. I'm gauging energy. I don't care about what you manage to do every day. How the fuck do you treat your offspring? Talk to me. Don't tell me nothing about all that stuff if you cold and detached as fuck. You might as well go hang it up. You know, talking a good game because that's his gift, my father. But empty, empty, lost. He's lost. He's cursed. He's a karmic. Yeah, that's why it says that he's a karmic. He is a karmic. Yeah. So I was born. Oh fuck my life. That's okay. Yeah, I don't know. My soul was like, you think to go to these motherfuckers, and you gonna see. This is why the shit was on you, cause your ass was in some karma motherfuckers. Almost died trying to get here because your ass was inside of karma motherfuckers. Now I get it. Now I get it. Yeah. And he can say what the fuck he wants. I already know. I stopped myself from saying some things because I don't want to take it there. But he too can kiss my ass. Where is love at? So save all the rest of that shit. Save it. Save it. It's fake. That's all this shit has ever been, man. People like this performance and they get together in large groups and shit, but it's fake as fuck. Bargaining, begging. Done. So he was the type, like again, every time you're dealing with karmic energy, you're gonna always see something with money at its root. So he never learned lessons in his life. Okay. He never learned lessons. Bargaining, begging. It says completion lesson learned is reverse financial support. He was a deadbeat dad. Okay. He didn't learn how to care and take care of his children. He never learned that. He made his children, feel like they had to bargain and beg. Okay. Instead of being a fucking father. And see, and the problem with that is it creates that frequency within the child when they grow up and they think that they have to go and get into connections and they think that they have to beg and bargain. And this is toxic. We deserve to be loved for who we are and where we are and not begging and bargaining somebody to be helped. Okay? And let me tell you something. What I find fascinating about narcs, you guys, see, they're only this way as long as they're surrounded by their groups, whether that be church, friends. They're only kind of like in their energy of whatever when they got all of that around them. Okay. When they have all of their comforts. So whether that be their fixed incomes and all these things they have to ensure that they're there. But I can promise you, those very ones that talk, a really good and big game, if you were to take all of it, take it all, just strip it. No credit, no this, no that. None of the things that they have grown accustomed to, you will see a whole nother them. A whole nother them. The very things that they go about gossiping and saying shit about other people that's trying to recover their lives from dealing with narcissistic motherfuckers. Okay. And learning and growing. You will see them bow. Okay. Because they can't handle shit. They only able to talk like that as long as they got the flying monkeys, their groups, their certain things, their comforts to ensure that. Okay, and that's my father. That's him. Okay, and that's who he's always been. So he's always was like looking for the next. Yeah, he didn't care. Like he was just chasing. He was an empty motherfucker. But that's what he came from. Okay. So let me get out of there. I already shared with you guys a couple of stories. There's nothing in addition popping up about my father at this time, except for that religion and that surface shit and over focus on external, empty, shallow, void, deep roots of nothing. Okay. He's probably stalking too. If it ain't him, his people. Because I mean, he may not be internet privy, but I tell you what, this energy is going to his ass too. Look, there is no exception. He was a fucking absentee daddy. On top of that, he was twisted. Okay? Stalking but not saying nothing. Who does that? A lunatic. See, that's, you guys, check. I'll be fair here, but check. I said this to you guys a long while back. I'm like, look, I really don't care, but y'all need to start learning how to critically think for yourself because that's your life. But start paying attention, start regurgitating the programs and the environments. Your so-called family as before the cutoff or any of that, that would pretend call and check in. And, oh, what books are you reading? Because I'm really into going there as myself as well. And we were just wondering. Here's what critically thinking would say. They know that you're on social media. They can't pretend like they didn't, but they're not supportive, right? You don't see their presence there. If they were so interested in with it, okay, they would be there. You would see their presence there, because they're family. Okay, when you would see their presence there, you would see who they are. It wouldn't be some fake profile shit or none of that. Okay, and if they were really digging in and trying to, I'm just interested. If that was really the case, they would be on your profiles and looking at all of the vast information, okay, that you had. And they would be supportive of that, right? But see, this is the toxic, sick shit that I came here to call it out for what it is. Pretend care, but secret envy and jealousy. Why? Because none of them have the fucking balls to heal and do anything different in their lives but what they are regurgitated and staying locked in the 3D grid and unhappy. Because if they were all so happy, they wouldn't be on my shit. If everything that they're doing in their realities and their practices, they wouldn't be stalking as weird, creepy people. And then going and talking in their groups and shit, but don't have the balls to face me. Cowards. But then want to sing holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. Don't even know what they're doing. And he, in his disillusion, I'm willing to bet you my bottom dollar, he thinks that all of this is just to do with a man. They so fucking simple-minded. See, that lets you know how 3D these motherfuckers are. They don't know shit. My mom probably said that shit because she good for going around saying a whole lot of everything except her part in the shit. As she did some fucked up shit. They can call whoever the fuck they want. Whoever keeps fucking with me and my son and what I do here is going to pay severely. I'm a grown person. You do not have to like me. And you don't have to agree with who I am, what I do. But you will respect and leave me the fuck alone. If you don't have balls enough to show up as yourself on my platforms, I have no respect for you. If all you know how to do is sit back and look on a screen and then go in your prayer meetings only conjuring up shit to hit your fucking head in your life and everything that's close to you, if you don't have balls enough to face me, poof. I left and walked away from folks, and the problem is I did just that, and they didn't like it. But I don't need approval. I'm not a child. And even if I was a child of some fucked up shit, I don't need approval. Oblivious. I bet, thinking, oh, this is just about some man. That's, yeah, my older sister. Okay, you want to direct that energy over there. Her karmic obsession. That's her, not me. My fury is at the injustices of what I've experienced, whether the motherfuckers want to believe it or not. It said denial. Toxic. Surface. Religious. Don't even fucking know me. That's the sad part. Don't even know me. Just listen to a bunch of other busy people conversations, but wasn't a part of don't know shit. If motherfuckers were so happy, then they would not be on my shit. I'm gonna keep saying that. It's like if people would just go about living their own perspective lives, then, since they got this all figured out and everything, since they know the truth, they say. And why the fuck are they on my shit? I've been minding my business this whole time. The reason why people are hearing this fury, and I'm going to keep saying it, because this must be. I know what I've experienced. I know what has happened. And I'm going to keep coming on here and giving 3D examples for retarded motherfuckers to understand it. No disrespect to those of y'all who simply just, you're new and learning. But I'm talking about the people who are pretentious and smug and arrogant and religious empty pricks acting like they know everything. So let's help. See, for people like that, you have to hit what makes sense to them. You have to touch and hit what matters to them. They don't get all that other stuff. To them, you're crazy, you're tripping, you're this and that, so fuck it. But let's touch something. Let's touch something. Let's touch something near and dear to that heart. What they take pride in. See, that's going to always be the demise of the narc. They're on a high horse and can say lots of nice, cool sayings until something. So that's why I'm like, I don't need people to be convinced and believe me. That's the old me. And all you have to do is think about this. In the 3D, let's make it plain for regular motherfuckers, okay? I'm going to use the child. If you knew someone was violating and doing things to your child as they were babysitting your kid, I'm just going to use that as an example. If you knew that, whether other people knew or not, see, this is how molestation goes on. This is how incest goes on. Okay. Other motherfuckers may not know. And in a day, all that kind of shit was kind of shut down and everybody was muted from saying something. That's why you got so much damn mental illness. Because folks ain't facing and admitting truths and just saying, jumping and shouting and hollering. So let's play with that. Let's say you had a child. Say you had one and only. People hear me make the statement, one and only begotten son. My one and only. So let's say you only had your one and only son. Your beautiful son or daughter. And they say that was the, man, your pride and joy. Pride and joy, pride and joy, pride. And you trusted someone that by default of blood, you thought would care and be honorable and decent and considerate and respectful of your child. You later to find out that they were violating your child every day. They were torturing and tormenting them every day. They were doing inappropriate things to them every day. Now be honest about how you would really feel, think, speak, and respond. Past the fake shit. And see, that's the thing. They think it's all about, because they're too fucking 3D based. For my sister, they are correct. It is. That is her obsession. This is why she's done the shit she's done. But for me, it's deeper than just the human man that they're talking about. It's everything she did in the process. I've already made it perfectly clear and plain for anybody with half of a mind and brain to think and understand what the fuck I said. I said, if we want to take away the insidiousness of everything in which I know happened and just make it a story of, oops, yeah, that was inappropriate, shouldn't have. And it was just that simple. It was nothing else behind it. There was no plotting. There was no scheming. There was no betrayal. There was no behind the back. There was no ill intent. There were no lying, smear campaigning, manipulation, thievery. Mockery, cyber stalking, bullying. Like, see, all those things is a part of the fury. If you take all of that out and hard intentions and all that other stuff away, it's not to say that it wouldn't have been hurtful. I've said this. We bleed red. It's not to say that it wouldn't have been hurtful. It's not to say someone would have felt some kind of way. But that's easy to, that is the first motherfucking time I fucking, what the fuck? Come on now. I still wouldn't want nothing to do with her because I'm not toxic. It's like, no, you kind of start figuring out and learning who the fuck you can trust. So, but I wouldn't be like I am. I went on with my life in spite of what was taking place behind my back. They didn't even give me the decency of telling me about it. That's a part of the fury as well. Okay? So motherfuckers, just shut the fuck up. I'm going to keep saying that. Shut the fuck up. Because you don't know. Everything that took place. Little minds, puny brains, 3D minds think that all of this is about, she just got pissed off about something, dude. Yeah, you want to redirect that energy to your other daughter. She's the one stalking motherfuckers. She's the one hiring motherfuckers. She was the one stalking me. She's the one doing spell work. You want to redirect that thought over that. You guys are hearing it from me because all of these people, including my sisters, were cowards. They didn't have the guts to face me and tell me the truth, yet continue to try to do sneaky shit behind my back. So the folks will continue to hear me say what the fuck I need to say here. Because I'm not being triangulated by nobody. I'm not going to talk to this one and this one and this one so motherfuckers can play games. We're done with that. I'm not thirsty. The thirsty one is the one that did all this shit. Justice must prevail. If it's your child in that illustration that got raped and robbed, you tell me how you would talk, and then we'll, call me in the morning. Think about that. So get it out your head, dizzy motherfuckers. It's not just about some dude. If they were decent and then left me alone and let me be and then do all of the shit they did, I could have still got over it, even with the betrayal of having not been given the honor and respect of being told. Okay? I could have still been cool if they literally would have just kind of went on without trying to somehow make fun of me, stalk me, steal from me, be me, all this other weird shit. Getting their groups on my platforms and all this weird fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? If they would have left me the fuck alone and not stole what was mine and not made it a full-time job to try to humiliate me, I wouldn't be humiliating all of them. At least I have balls. At least I wasn't snaky and slithery and going behind my so-called family members' back and doing this shit and then smiling. So dismiss me with the bullshit. If you can't face me and call me like a daddy or whoever it is on my father's side of the family, this all applies to you as well. You can watch all you want. You don't know. And I'm done being individual scapegoats, and I don't give a fuck about people's thoughts because guess what? When I reached out to people, my sister had already managed to put her spells on motherfuckers to turn people away from it. So there's no need to be curious. Continue to live life as you have. Obviously, me and my son is just fine. Don't get interested now. As it is for the collective. It's no more patty cake time. They bank on that energy. Oh, we're done. I don't need your approval. I don't respect you because you don't respect me. I don't have sympathy and empathy and compassion for no motherfuckers that don't have it for me and didn't have it for my son. And who I am and what I do. I don't need approval. I don't have a group control mindset. But if you disrespected me, then I disrespect you. It's as simple as that. I have a whole lot to say. That's why I'm like, I'm not impressed. Folks might as well dismiss me with that. Because half of them can't live half of the shit they uttering out their mouths. Dismiss me. They don't even know. How you talking about all this love shit and you have no feeling, no interest, no ability? You're a program, you're a fucking droid, a fucking robot. No compassion. And just swallow whatever, whoever's saying something to you. Dizzy. Dizzy as hell. So my fury, Phoenix rising. X-Man, Apocalypse. People were too comfortable at pushing my boundaries. People were too comfortable at disrespecting me and my son like we're pick-a-parts. And when I start blasting some shit out about motherfuckers, because nobody didn't have none of that God, this and that, or whatever the fuck when they were doing it to me, so dismiss me. Dismiss me with that shit. I will not be silent. And the more motherfuckers come against me and my son, I mean business. You can mark my words. What do I need from folks? Nothing. If you don't like me, if you don't like what I do, if you don't agree, stay the fuck away from me and what I do. It's as simple as that. You didn't care whether I lived or died or my son, so stay the fuck away. You took delight in watching me suffer and struggle, so stay the fuck away. Get off of my shit. I don't need approval. Get a life of your own. But leave what I do alone or suffer. I managed to go away and heal on my own in spite of the lack of proper family support, in spite of the lack of courageous, loving family support. So I don't give a fuck about what family got to say. Everybody comes out the woodworks when they see I'm happy and being seen, triggered, envy, jealousy, whether folks want to admit it or not. That, oh, lo and behold, in spite of their incessant pleasure of making her life hard and abandoning her, she actually lives and thrives and be correct. Because the only reason why I was in that toxic fuck shit was because I was relinquishing my power. I was weakened by being around a bunch of weak ass narcs my whole life, trying to make me feel weak when in fact it was the other way around. But the moment I cut ties and I separated myself from motherfuckers, my life changed. In spite of all the heavyweight black magic, hoodoo, voodoo, every dude, word curses, gang stalking, smear campaigning, lying, thievery. In spite of it all, and I will defend and I will speak. I don't have time. As long as I was incognito, As long as I wasn't seen, nobody really didn't give a fuck, not much, because it didn't trigger nobody. Nobody didn't care. It's because I dared to have a life, and I dared to heal, and I dared to grow, and I dared to be bold, and I dared to tell the truth, and I dared to stop being a tongue biter. I will speak the truth. I'm the same Brandy, the same sweet compassion, but not dumb. And I don't give compassion to motherfuckers who's compassionless, who's plotting my demise, who didn't care if I lived or died. This also goes out to my son's people as well. That's what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. I don't need. Don't be concerned now. Every time I reached out, see, people want me codependent. The ironic thing is, people want to control your movement, your decisions, and how you do it, and you to be codependent. If you reach out for support, if they can't control it, 3D, fear, ego-based. True love and care and compassion is unattached. You don't need to have a soul and control their damn life. You don't need to necessarily even have to get something out of it. Oh, sweetie pie. The same motherfuckers that come to me telling me this shit about how they were so betrayed in the DeLone family, the Stevenson family, and fucking shit. Y'all know shit there too. People dumping their stuff on me when they're talking to me, when I'm calling about trying to get me and my son some kind of change in life to get the hell out of Sodom at that time. I discovered that me and my son needed to be alone. We didn't need to be around no more motherfuckers. Energy vampires, needy motherfuckers. We had already went through way too much, and we were not interested at all. We were tired of people. We just wanted to be left the fuck alone so we can be at peace and heal and not be bombarded by dizzy, walking dead lunatics. Always trying to feed, but then act like it's us that's in need. The irony is, all these individuals thought, like, let's see, if no one helps her, she'll be forced to be homeless. If no one reaches out, if no one, she'll be forced to have to go live with. No, I don't have to. Hello. Obviously. I was never that way. I've always preferred it the other way. Prior to coming to Nevada, I've always preferred it. I was never like that. I don't need energy around me all the damn time. I prefer it that way. I want the liberty and freedom to grow and create and do and move and breathe and not be fucking horse. What's that thing? It's the thing with the for the horses or the. I don't know if I'm doing it right. It goes on someone else's terms. I'm not in that. I'm not in the rat race. I don't need to be compared to somebody else and shit like that. So I set intentions, and guess what? My ancestors, my light team, and my spirit guides stepped in to ensure that me and my son was able to safely move away from Sodom and Gomorrah and get a beautiful place of our own. And I don't have to be fucking stressed the fuck out about it. I don't got to break my damn neck so that me and my son don't have space to heal. See, that's what narcissists want. They want you in living conditions where you don't have space to heal, that you're just spinning and spinning and spinning and working your to a bone and giving them everything and spinning and spinning. And lo and behold, you look up and you can't heal. You're not healed. You're on the verge of death because you weren't given space to, too busy being a performing monkey. I think not. I will live life on my terms. I'm done caring about what people think that didn't give a fuck about what I thought. And I don't care what their name is, their title, their position, their beliefs, their whatever. I do not give a fuck about what somebody thinks that did not give a fuck about what I thought. Okay. And on that note,